Okay, I would like to talk about the Vampire Diaries Season 7, Episode 18, One Way or Another. I have a lot of feelings about this episode, and I know this is a late review, but this was the time I was able to make to do it, and I'm excited to do it, and in the future, hopefully, I'll be able to do it a lot quicker. Okay, so I guess the best way to start would be with the biggest storyline of the episode, and that's getting Stefan back into his actual body. Stefan is trapped in this serial killer body, and that's obviously not working out well for him. And he's human, and he's dying. And the serial killer, whose name I can't remember for the life of me, is in Stefan's body, wreaking havoc. And Damon is trying to fix all of this because essentially, I guess if Damon would have kept his promise and took the scar, none of this would have been happening. So, I just want to say, Paul Wesley's acting in this episode, he's always A1, but it was just, he does the dark thing so well, and I know he likes to play the darker characters, but I love him as Stefan always. But for just one or two episodes, I did enjoy him playing this character who's a troublemaker, and he did it well. He's so layered, and he just always does everything so well. Um, I enjoyed him, and the character was an ass, and I'm glad that he's dead, hopefully now. Or he's not dead, I'm sorry. He got switched, he got body swapped into his own body, and they kind of just left that off, because Stefan woke up, and then the other guy was still laying there, and I'm like, okay, well, what's going on with him now? Is he dead, or what's happening with that? But I'm getting ahead of myself. So anyways, Valerie has promised to help Stefan get back into his actual body. And Damon does not give a shit that Valerie is really, really putting herself in danger doing the spell, and that she could have potentially died doing it. And Stefan, being Stefan, doesn't want her to sacrifice herself for him. Now, let me just say this. I am not necessarily a Stereline shipper, but I will take Stereline over Valerie and Stefan all day, any day, every day. I don't give a shit about that relationship, and I'm sorry, but I can't seem to care. The breakup scene between them was nicely written. It was well acted. It made sense to me, but I didn't care. I didn't get emotional, and I was just like, okay, now we get to move on. Great. I mean, Valerie hasn't been a character I've cared about. None of the heretics, really. I was not sad when Lily died. Well, I shouldn't say that. I mean, it was sad the way it happened and then the way Damon acted towards her. But I was never a Lily fan. I wasn't a fan of any of the heretics. I started to get on board with Nora, especially when she was developing a friendship with Bonnie. And Nora and Mary Lou, their farewell scene was very sad, and it was also very well done. But I'm not broken over it. Like, I'm gonna continue to watch the show and not be that upset that they're not there anymore. But to go back to the Valerie and Stefan relationship, that it kind of came out of nowhere. This whole past love that they've had, and I didn't buy it. We were supposed to believe that they were supposed to be these epic lovers because Stefan lost his virginity to her 200 years ago and never saw her again. They had sex and never saw each other again. He fell in love with Catherine, like, not too long after, and I mean, I really doubt he thought about Valerie another day after he met Catherine. So I couldn't buy that this was supposed to be some epic love story they once had. They knew each other for one day. He got her pregnant. She lost a baby 200 years ago. And now she comes back and she's interfering with Caroline and Stefan. And her character made a turn to be better, but she was still actively trying to steal Caroline's man. And I just can't get on board with that. So I'm glad to not have to look at that ship anymore. I wasn't with it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to any Valerie fans or any Valerie and Stefan fans, but I just wasn't with it. And I don't know what this means for her character now. I don't know if that was a farewell not just to Stefan, but to the show. I'm sure we're going to see her again in some form. I don't know if she's going to continue to be a regular. She kind of was just a roadblock for Stereline, in my opinion. And when Candace Nicolo's back in the show, I think we're going to have some serious Stereline interactions, especially since Caroline is holding a deep-seated hostility toward Stefan, it seems. And, poor Alaric, Caroline seems to only be marrying him because of circumstance. He said it himself. I proposed to her, and she said yes because it was good for the kids. He said he fell for Caroline. He never said Caroline fell for him, and I don't think she did. I think she loves the twins, and she wants them to grow up in a two-parent household. She kind of, in a way, not really, I guess it's debatable if Caroline sacrificed her relationship with Stefan to raise the kids because he wanted her to leave with him after she was supposed to be done with the kids after she gave birth to him. They're not hers biologically. Alaric was like, you can peace out, it's fine. And she was like, no, I don't want to do that. And now poor Stefan is kind of on the outside looking in, and he's like, I don't have anything to do with this. Like, these are not my kids. I can't infiltrate on what they got going on. And she didn't want to leave with him. I guess some would say he should have just stuck by her side because she didn't ask for it either. But, I mean, that's not the choice he made. And he has Valerie, trying to get him far away from Caroline so she could have him to herself. And it worked for a little while, but I mean, in the end, it came back to bite her in the butt, and she realized, her sacrificing her life to bring Stefan back would not have been the best idea. She was willing to do it, but it kind of would have been a waste because Stefan feels like this person loves me enough to do that, and I just never felt that same kind of love. So I'm glad that she realized that, and now she can go be with somebody who actually wants her ass. So Damon's running around town with Alaric, and this makes me sad too because I liked in the past the Alaric and Damon friendship because there was a point in time on the show when everybody was against Damon, and that's kind of happening again. Now everyone is mad at him, but he brings it out himself because he continues to do dumb shit and or just break promises and just being Damon Salvatore. It's like for just a second, just be Damon, but just don't be the Damon that does this kind of things to the people that care about you. And he left Alaric, he left Bonnie, he left Stefan, everybody who really cares about him to go desiccate. And I just would never understand that situation or that decision. I would never understand it. And it was a selfish decision. It really was. And it didn't do any good for anybody except, well, I take that back. I guess it did good for Alaric and Stefan. It didn't really do good for Bonnie. She's found love or whatever, but we'll get to that. Alaric don't fuck with Damon no more. And I get it, but it does make me sad. He was very, very, very upset with him. But if your life is so much better off, do you really need to be that upset with him? Damon should have been a man when he made this decision and went to Bonnie and went to Alaric and had a face-to-face conversation with them about what he wanted to do. And he left a letter, and they didn't appreciate that shit, and I understand. So, yeah, Alaric was a little mad, but at the same time, he's like, my life is great now. I have a beautiful fiance and some beautiful kids. Like, I don't need you coming in my circle trying to mess things up again. Like, we're not doing what we did 6 years ago. It's not that anymore. And, of course, that hurt Damon's little feelings. He probably did need to hear that, but I guess you can't be Damon Salvatore's friend and still lead a normal, completely safe life. That's just not how a friendship with him works. He's not a person that you can just invite over for a drink and talk about your life and then you leave and then that's it. He's a person who's going to come to you whenever his life or Stefan's life is in danger, and he's going to ask you to put yourself in danger to help them get out of the situation that you had nothing to do with in the first place. That is how a relationship or a friendship with Damon Salvatore works. Especially if your name is Bonnie Bennett, especially if your name is Alaric Saltzman. So I really feel for them on that tip, but they do love Damon, and Alaric does really care about him still, which is why he still held on to that resentment or that hostility about the way he left. Alaric and Caroline's hiding out with the kids, he said. Damon started fishing for information about Bonnie instead of just outright asking him. That, stop being weird. Like, what was it, the third or fourth episode, he referred, in front of them, he referred to Bonnie and Alaric as his family. So Alaric knows what you want to know. Just come straight out and say it. How is Bonnie? I would be mad about the fact that Damon didn't go to her immediately after waking up, but I understand there was just so much shit that started happening the very second he was woken up. I'm going to give him a pass on that. And then finally, Alaric told him where Bonnie was. And I thought it was funny how much Damon was not shipping Enzo and Bonnie being together, and he couldn't understand it, much like most of the TVD viewers. They were kind of just like, where did that come from? And we still don't really know completely. I'm not against Bonnie and Enzo. I think they are cute together. I don't think they're going to last. Like, I don't think they're going to be together all through season 8. Especially, I mean, how would Enzo have gotten to that level with Bonnie after everything they've done to each other this season? I mean, she literally chopped off his hand to rescue Damon. This woman has done brutal shit to you for another man that she loves, and you've seen the love that Bonnie has for Damon. You called her out on it and said, stop following him around like a lovesick puppy and just like live your own life. And she was like, nah, I think I'm gonna just continue to follow him around like a lovesick puppy. And I'm not saying that in like a negative way. I love Bonnie and Damon so much, but I just don't understand how Enzo came into the picture. But he's in it, and she loves him now. And their scenes are cute together, but as usual, Bonnie is now dying because of someone that she loves. And this is a pattern with my precious Bennett witch. Just like in season 4 when she died, bringing Jeremy back, a man that she loved. In season 5, she brought a whole bunch of people back, and then she died with Damon. And in season 6, she sacrifices herself to bring Damon back to the living world, knowing that it could mean the death of her. Luckily it didn't, but it almost did, because she almost committed suicide as a result of all being left alone. And now, once again, Enzo, someone that she loved and trusted, gave her some unaccounted for pills. It just starts giving it to her without trying to learn side effects or anything like that. Like, just do a little bit more research before you give them to her. And she's been taking them, and I guess it's on her too, because she was just willingly taking them, although granted she probably just trusted him. And then I'm not like mad at Enzo. I know it's not completely his fault. He was trying to be helpful, and he had the best intentions, but now look where it's got us, because nobody did any extra research. So now poor Bonnie is dying again. I'm pretty sure they'll find a way out of that. They need to, because the whole Bonnie dying thing is getting old, just like Stefan dying is getting old. That final scene when Damon goes to Bonnie with the flowers and she slams the door in his face, that scene really got to me. I love them too. I love them too. But Damon deserved every bit of that door slam. When he decided he wanted to go and desiccate for 80 years and never see Bonnie again, he was really only thinking about the effect it would have on himself. And at that point, really, he was all Bonnie had. And he just left her. And he didn't even have the balls to go to her and tell her what he was going to do. He left it in a letter and was just like, peace, that's it. And this was after she rescued him from the armory. And he was about to get bit by Tyler, whatever. Yeah, he deserved to get the door slammed in his face. Why would you do that? She's done so much for you over the years, even when she couldn't stand your ass. And she just loves you so much, and you were all she had. Just like in the prison world, you were all she had, and she was all you had. And she sacrificed herself to bring you back to your girl, Lena. And it's just like never enough. Nothing that she did was enough for you to just stay and be there for her and be that rock for her. You told her in episode 1 that she was stuck with you. She probably took that to heart. Like, okay, now he cares for me the way I care for him. Like, this is my best friend, and where he's gonna be there to the very end. And you just failed her for a little while, and now you're back. But you're only back because Stefan woke you up, and you were mad at him for waking you up. So you still just, you don't really get it. And I'm glad that he went to her finally, and he had the flowers, which is a nice gesture, because I've never seen Damon bring flowers to anybody ever, not even Elena. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I just don't remember it, seeing it. And it's not like it's a huge thing for a vampire with all the money in the world to get her some $5 flowers. It was just so cute to see him there with them in his hand, and the look on his face, like, I feel like he was probably dreading that moment, which is why he didn't rush to see her immediately, because he knew she was gonna be pissed. But he still manned up finally and went to go see her. And the look on his face, the look on her face when she heard his voice, oh man, that really got to me. Kat and Ian always just, whenever their characters are on screen together, it's just always perfect to me. I can't remember Bonnie and Damon scene in recent memory that was not great. Whether these characters are bickering or they're not bickering. I love when they're not bickering and they're just best friends, each other's ride or die. It's just always so amazing. So that scene broke my heart for obvious reasons. She slammed that door in his face with such vengeance, and he deserved it. And he's saying, I'm sorry. Okay, you said I'm sorry. Now keep talking. Spit it out. Like, he couldn't think of what to say. I'm like, you didn't think of what you would say on the ride over here? Like, there should be so many things that you want to say to her. You have not seen her in 3 years. And obviously, lots of things have changed. She's with Enzo now, who used to be your best friend. Like, you should have a lot to say to her. Spit it the fuck out, Damon. Let's go. And she slammed the door in his face, and she was obviously very, very upset still. I mean, she was talking to her. She was talking to the other girl in the mental hospital, and the way she described Damon led that girl to believe that he was her boyfriend. And she's like, I don't know what he was. Well, he was your best friend, but I mean, why don't you know now? It's, how did your feelings develop, or how were your feelings at that time that now you don't know how to describe him? I just don't entirely know. And I do still believe Bonnie still loves Damon, and it's just going to take time and effort on his part for her to get back on the bus. Get back on the Salvatore bus. It's going to take some time, and he needs to put in that time and effort. And that's why I'm very excited for next episode. I saw the promo, and it was the whole Bonnie and Clyde with the Bonnie and Damon thing, taking out Raina's demons, I guess we should call them, or could call them. And it looks awesome. She's still mad at him, but she's right by his side, and they're doing the damn thing. They're getting shit done. Ever since season 2, whenever they worked together, when they weren't getting along, they just got shit done, and I love that about their dynamic. So I'm really excited to see the next episode. I'm definitely going to be reviewing it, and it's going to be a video review. I can't do one right now, but all my reviews after this, well, I have one more video coming out after this, and it's not going to be a video of me, but I am going to do video reviews for the rest of the Vampire Diaries season. I was nervous about this season. I didn't know how well it would all play out without Elena, but it's just like most Vampire Diaries seasons. Some episodes are a miss and some are a hit. So to me, I would say this episode was a hit. It got to me emotionally, which TVD is very good for, the whole emotional factor. Oh yeah, I didn't talk about the vault. This damn vault. We all know what this is leading to. This is leading to an introduction of a new big bad, because now we don't have any. Julian's gone, Lily's gone, all the heretics except for Valerie's gone, but Valerie's not bad anymore. So, this woman, this girl that's related to Enzo, freaked out about the vault, and she asked Bonnie to promise that she wouldn't open it. And I'm just like, Bonnie girl, just lie, just lie, just lie. And Bonnie was like, if it's gonna help me out, hell yeah, I'm gonna open it. And I'm like, don't say that. Like, she's out of her mind. you don't have your magic, you can't fight, you can't defend yourself, so oh, now you just got cut because you wanted to keep it 100 just for a second, Bonnie. Just for a second, you could have just been try to get the information out of her first. Obviously, there's a reason why she doesn't want you to open this vault, and you know that the St. John's get into some shit, so Bonnie's obviously gonna open this vault, and it's gonna lead to a whole bunch of chaos. Like, we know this, and even if there's not a villain of some sort in the vault, whatever's in it is going to lead to us being introduced to a new villain. Because now we're in the final half of this season and we don't have one, and they're going to have to, if we don't see one this season, we're going to see one season 8 for sure. So I think that's all a lead up to that. So that's cool. Next episode I'm excited about. I think I talked about everything that happened in this past episode, so this is a brand new channel. I have another one, but I haven't uploaded any videos on it for years, so I decided to just start fresh. So if anybody wants to discuss Vampire Diaries or any other show, just leave a comment. Thank you very much. This is D. Marie Love.